Hi folks, first time doing something like this, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Recently I spoke to an individual who gave me some pointers about this pursuit that I'm doing, whatever we want to refer to it as, with the AI music, poetry, the kind of hybrid between the two, and I really wanted to expand on that a little bit more. One of the things he recommended to me was don't worry about the copyright detail, and the reason being is that anything recently, if you publish something on YouTube, for the most part, that is enough. It shows that you are the creator of the content, and that alone is the timestamp to show that this is mine. So, with that in mind, I've really decided to take it upon myself to expand on this a little bit more. It gives me an idea of what it could potentially be. So, at the end of the day, it starts here. It starts in a journal. It starts in my head. It starts in a random scratch pad of just a little jingle that has stuck with me for whatever reason it may be, and it carries a weight of significance. Now, this is not my very first journal. My very first journal I unfortunately no longer have. It was things I would write poetry, but then I would also write about like my feelings and where I sat on certain aspects in life. Ultimately, I destroyed it. I got too tired of reading through it, wanting to reminisce and remember things, and then it only resulted in me just going to a bad place that I didn't want to be in any longer. I destroyed it, didn't want to look back on it, but regardless of that, Lone Thought Nothings is what I wrote on that very first journal, because it speaks volumes about what I felt it was. It was just me with my thoughts, and for the most part, it was nothing. It was just random blatherings that I was just like, this is something that I'm thinking about. The Wall was an original rewrite from a journal from 2012. Through points in my past, I feel I've been alone. No partner or a life where I could call it home. I stopped questioning why. I don't want to try. I'm sick of betrayal and the constant lies. Stay out of my life. I don't want to fight. Believe me, I'm not the one that you want tonight. I put walls up over years, rejection a constant fear. I don't want to hurt you. Please save your tears. It's solid as rock and 10 feet high, littered with trenches and tripwire mines. Guards on watch keeping them at bay. Dogs on attack simply if I say. Some may have gotten by, though few and far between. The defenses grow stronger after every silent scream. I won't let you in, so leave it be. Why must you be so persistent with me? As you near walking closer, right through my howitzer and mortars, nothing seems to keep you away. The solid foundation trembles, causing towers to crumble. From the collapse I'm thrown, laying wounded on the floor, a trail of blood I tourniquet, while I slam my panic room door. As the fire flickers and smoke begins to clear, I lay surrounded in what remains of my shattered fears. A silhouette walks through. It comes into view. I realize that the wall was never there for you. We stand face to face. As you step forward, I step back. Backed into a corner, I can't go any further. You reach for my hand as I drop to my knees. Defeated, I finally surrender. I look up and you smile back. I accept the embrace of another. And so the story behind that one, I wrote that one when I was in college. There's two separate poems, The Wall and The Wall Comes Down. The Wall was ultimately the first one about putting those barriers up, those defenses, those moments in life where I gave up on any pursuit of a relationship, whether it be from just my immense awkwardness growing up to actually feeling as though there could be something there, to being met with betrayal or lying, cheating, whatever the case might be. And so the walls went up. At that point in time in my life, I never believed that I'd find anybody. About a year or so later, I wrote one called The Wall Comes Down, and it tells the second part of the story. While the song was never wrote, or sorry, the poem, I should say, was never wrote about anybody in particular, it was always this hopeful notion of finding the person that it would one day align with, where it was talking about, you're the one who steps into my life, my walls are torn down because of you, or not even rather torn down, they weren't there to begin with. But I didn't realize until you were in that life with me. And then later down the line, after I met my wife now, I was honest with her. I wrote this a long time ago. It wasn't about anybody in particular, but at the same time, it was always that hopeful notion that I would find the person that it aligns with. And when I was explaining it to her, before she even heard the song for the first time, I told her, I was like, I feel like this is you. This is the one that this was wrote for or about. And since then, that song has been very impactful. I'm hoping to get a updated version of it. The original one was made with very early AI tools, and the program was called Donna AI at the time. But regardless, it was the first one that really made me dive down this rabbit hole of being able to take something that's simply on a page and turn it into something so much more. Whether the AI pursuit is the end all be all where I'm going to take this, or if this is simply the starting point and I look into potentially publishing these, if I look into potentially taking them elsewhere. But at the very least, the primary detail is these AI tools give me an idea of what it could sound like. Ultimate goal would be to have essentially the poetry on one side and then the AI music on the other. And so I can provide the definition or the description, feelings, whatever. Is this a soft melodic track? Is it metalcore? Is it very aggressive and guttural growls and screams? It's interesting when you can really play around with like the temperature of these and try out different ones. And when I'm making these, it's very interesting to me that there are some that when I hear it, I just know that's the one, or at least that's the starting one that I want to work with. Music has always had a vast impact on me. As you can see behind me, the collection of CDs, it wraps an L around in this room, probably somewhere around 3,000. Music has always been a very large part of my life. It's got me through times. It's been there when at times no one else was. When I hear a certain song where I feel something, it carries a very emotional significance to me. And so when I'm making these, or these programs are designing these for me, when I can input my writing, my feeling, my words, and then hear it played out to me to tell that story that I want to, it is a life-changing experience. I understand the controversies regarding AI programs. I settle somewhere in the middle. I'm not identifying myself as a musician. I didn't sing. I don't play the instruments. I would love to learn. I've always wanted to learn, but I just don't have the ambition or the skills to do so. This was never a skill I thought I would ever have. Looking back on it, had I known about that, like the ideas of possibility of like songwriting or lyric writing, being a lyricist to something would be just mind blowing to me. So it's really made me want to dive back down everything with this and start looking into it. I'm pushing over 100 poems that I've converted into a song format, and while many of them are not remotely complete, there are some that are more complete than others. There are ones from the original track "Drown" was one of my other ones that I put on YouTube. That was, I would like to think, one of my favorites, and at the time, given the program, SUNO has been updating repeatedly. Drown was made with 3.5. We're now at 5.5, and every iteration of 0.5 advancement has been drastic improvements. You can specify you want it to sound a certain way. You want it to shift directions in the song. You input these prompts. Basically, it's whatever you want to put in brackets, and you want to scream here. If this is verse 1, if this is chorus 1, if this is bridge, pre-outro, intro, whatever the case is, it'll adhere to it. And if you provide it the additional instruction of like, during the shift of pre-outro, adjust to a soft melodic tone, and then it's like, if you want it to build back up, right with the intro, you put in brackets before it, re-intensify, resume former tempo. There are many things that it can adhere to very impressively. So with that, I'll probably be chopping this video up quite a bit, but it is, I'd like to think, the start of something bigger. I would love to share the details, the story, the inspiration behind these. I'm taking what I've written and I want it to be heard as I envision it. Ultimate goal would be to publish the poetry, release the music, have them side by side to be able to correlate the story behind why I felt the way I did, what it meant to me, and then in the music format, what it means to me now. So as a final wrap up regarding everything else we were discussing prior, I'm planning to probably do a mini series leading forward where I will expand on the poems themselves, the story behind them, good, bad, or otherwise. There was something a coworker and I were talking about recently, and we were talking about journals and poetry and things like that, and how there are some things that might be cringy, they might be embarrassing, they might be a former self that we don't want to remember. But at the end of the day, valid or not, or still how you feel on some things or not, what you felt then is still valid. It's what you feel now and how you can look back on it and recognize how you've changed and how you've grown from it. Because everything you've experienced in the past has ultimately shaped who you've become today. Thank you. Come back for more.
I've put walls up over years, rejection a constant fear. Some may have gotten by, though few and far between. The